Stop scrolling right now. Put the phone down, turn up the volume, and listen closely. If you think you know what the middleweight naked bike segment is all about, you are about to have your entire reality checked. For the last few years, we have watched a brutal turf war. The Yamaha MT-07 has been the stunt rider's darling. The Suzuki GSX-8S came in swinging with torque and tech. The Europeans, KTM and Triumph, have been slicing up the corners with surgical precision. But while everyone else was busy fighting over scraps, Honda was in the lab, sharpening a weapon that doesn't just compete, it dominates. The 2026 Honda CB750 Hornet isn't just a model year update, it is a declaration of total war on the streets. The Kai, legacy of the Sting. To understand this machine, we have to respect where it came from. The Hornet badge isn't just a marketing sticker, it is royalty. Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, the original Hornet was a detuned supersport engine strapped to a bicycle frame. It was manic, it was loud, and it was legendary. When Honda brought the name back recently, critics were skeptical. They missed the four-cylinder scream. But let me tell you, the 2026 model puts all that nostalgia to bed. It proves that you don't need four cylinders to make a bike that creates adrenaline. You just need the right engineering. This bike is no longer living in the shadow of its ancestor. It has eclipsed it. The powerhouse, Unicam engineering. Let's cut through the noise and talk about the heart of the swarm. The 2026 CB750 retains the engine platform that silenced the critics upon its debut, but it feels more refined than ever. We are looking at that magnificent 755cc parallel twin. But this isn't your average, polite, commuter-friendly parallel twin. This is a masterpiece of compact engineering. It uses Honda's Unicam cylinder head design, technology ripped straight from their championship-winning CRF motocross bikes. Why does that matter to you on the street? It keeps the engine incredibly compact and lightweight, which lowers the center of gravity. It punches out a class-leading 90.5 horsepower and roughly 55 lb-ft of torque, but numbers on a spec sheet are boring. What matters is the 270-degree firing order. This crank arrangement gives the bike a pulse. It doesn't hum like a sewing machine, it growls. It mimics the firing order of a V-twin, giving you that visceral, punchy low-end grunt that launches you off the line, followed by a top-end rush that makes the competition feel, frankly, a little breathless. The secret weapon. A technology that changes everything. Now, I promised you a surprise. I promised you something that would bind you to this video until the very end. Here is the twist that is going to divide opinion, but ultimately change how we ride forever. For 2026, the rumors suggest Honda is making their groundbreaking e-clutch, technology widely available on the Hornet platform. This is not an automatic transmission. Do not confuse this with a DCT scooter setup or a car with paddle shifters. This is pure wizardry. Imagine launching from a dead stop, 0 to 60, without ever touching the clutch lever. You just twist the throttle, and the computer manages the friction zone perfectly, every single time. You cannot stall this bike, it is physically impossible. But here is the best part. The clutch lever is still there. The moment you want to feel like a MotoGP pilot. The moment you want to feather the clutch for a wheelie or slip it in a tight U-turn, you just grab the lever, and the system instantly reverts to full manual control. Then, you let go, and it takes over again. It handles stop-and-go traffic for you, eliminating hand fatigue, yet it lets you hammer through the gearbox with the quick shifter on the open road. It is the bridge between comfort and performance, and it makes every rider, regardless of skill level, smoother and faster instantly. Chassis and handling. The scalpel. Power is nothing without control, and this is where the Hornet really stings the competition. The frame is a steel diamond structure that weighs practically nothing. We are talking about a frame that weighs less than the one on the CB500F. When you combine a featherweight frame with that compact engine, you get a power-to-weight ratio. That is frankly ridiculous for this price point. The suspension duties are handled by Showa. Up front, you have the 41mm separate function fork big piston, SFF BP USD forks. That is a mouthful of technical jargon, but here is what it means in English. One fork leg handles the damping, the other handles the spring. This reduces weight and provides superior feedback. When you throw this bike into a corner, it doesn't just turn. It dives in with an eagerness that borders on telepathic. It feels agile, flickable, and incredibly responsive. Whether you are slicing through city gridlock or carving up a canyon road, the bike feels like an extension of your body, not a machine you are fighting against. Electronics and the cockpit. Sitting in the cockpit, you are greeted by a glorious 5-inch TFT color display. In 2026, connectivity isn't a luxury, it's a requirement. This screen is optically bonded to reduce glare, and it comes integrated with the Honda RoadSync system. This means turn-by-turn navigation, music control, and calls are all managed via voice command or the toggle switch on the left bar. You never have to take your hands off the grips. The electronics suite is equally impressive. You get 3 default riding modes: Rain, Standard, and Sport. But the one you will actually use is the user mode. This allows you to customize everything. You can dial in the power delivery, adjust the engine braking to your liking, and tweak the Honda Selectable Torque Control, HSTC, which is Honda's fancy name for traction control. And yes, for the hooligans watching this, you can turn the and wheelie control off. The electronics are there to save your skin, not to ruin your fun. The aesthetics of aggression. Visually, the 2026 model has shed its skin for something far more sinister. Honda has listened to the feedback about the previous styling being a bit too safe. The new look is sharper. The tank is more sculpted, imitating the wing shape of a Hornet. The headlight cluster is lower and more aggressive, giving the bike a nose-down, tail-up stance like a predator ready to pounce. They have introduced new colorways that really pop. There is a rumored goldfinch yellow that pays homage to the original Hornet, and a matte ballistic black with a blood-red frame that looks absolutely mean. It's a bike that looks fast even when it's sitting on the side stand. The verdict: why this matters. So, is this the bike for you? If you are looking for a machine that is docile enough to commute to work on Monday, but wild enough to scare you on a Sunday morning blast, the 2026 CB750 is currently in a league of one. It combines Honda's legendary bulletproof reliability with a hooligan spirit we haven't seen from the brand in decades. The competition is fierce. The MT-07 is playful, the GSX-8S is torquey, and the Duke is sharp. But the Hornet strikes a balance that none of them can match. It gives you the most power in class, the best tech with that E-clutch, and a price tag that usually undercuts the rest. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the future of street fighters, and if you want to stay ahead of the curve on the latest motorcycle tech, rumors, and reviews, you know what to do. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss an upload. For more updates on the machines that move your soul, you have been watching Bike Updater Pro. Ride safe, keep the rubber side down, and I'll see you in the next one.